Welcome to 100 Years, One United Valley, brought to you by Valley of the Sun United Way. I'm your host, Mahana Holloway. This year marks a historic milestone, our 100th anniversary of serving the Valley. For a century, we've worked side by so many different community members, partners, businesses, corporate leaders, and donors to build a stronger future. And as part of that story, we're excited to highlight another member of our Loan Executive Program. These are individuals that are professionals who step away from their day-to-day careers to dedicate their time and their talent to supporting us. Today, I'm joined by Joe Sica, one of our current loan executives, to talk about his experience so far. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Hello, my name is Joe Sica. I'm currently a loaned executive with Valley of the Sun United Way.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Joe. Which company do you join us from?
So I work for Arizona Public Services.
And what is your role at Arizona Public Services?
So I'm a maintenance supervisor within the non-nuclear generation training department.
Amazing. And what initially kind of drew you to the Loan Executive Program?
So I've heard about it for years. I've been with APS for 16 years. I'm finally in a role where I can actually do it and commit the time to it. What initially drew me to it was just learning more kind of about what Valley of the Sun United Way does. You hear a lot about it during our CSF campaigns and different things like that through APS, but we don't really get too much into what Valley of the Sun does specifically here for Maricopa County or really at all. So kind of seeing the behind the scenes on how it works and kind of the business aspect of Valley of the Sun United Way.
And, during your time with Value of the Sun United Way, you've spent a lot of time visiting our nonprofit partners and our corporate
Mhm.
partners. So, was there any sort of particular moment or story that really kind of changed the way that you see community impact, especially considering that that was a big draw-in factor for the Loan Executive Program?
So probably like the biggest, I guess you could say, like wow moment for me. We did a tour kind of early on of Keys to Change, is downtown campus. And so you kind of see it whenever you're downtown, and but you don't really know what it is. And the fact that they're a big partner for Valley of the Sun United Way is um, another reason that was so impactful. But just seeing what they do and providing all of the services they provide, essentially wraparound services. So the tour was pretty extensive, and then so yeah, but just seeing everything they did as far as just the intakes to getting folks set up with mail, having you don't realize kind of the things that you kind of take for granted kind of in an everyday life, like you need a package or you need medication delivered or your driver's license, an ID, and they kind of help those folks get all of that in their one central campus. So they have that campus, but then I also worked with them on a Project Connect in the Avondale area. And so that's essentially where they go out to the community so folks can't come to them. So they bring their services there. And I volunteered for that. And so kind of between those two things were probably the biggest impact as far as initially with Valley of the Sun United Way.
I can definitely see why it would be so impactful. I know that anytime that I've experienced seeing keys to change firsthand, it's really eye-opening. And I echo what you said. It definitely does put into perspective what you may take for granted.
They have everything that you could essentially need or want for folks kind of trying to get back on their feet. They have it there. And I guess you see it and you know what it is, but until you go in and do the tour with their director and they're kind of talking through a list of the things they're doing, you don't realize the impact that they are making.
And being a lone executive means that you had to step into new environments like Keys to Change while also bringing your professional strengths with you. So, how has this experience helped you grow as a leader?
So a lot of it helped me grow essentially like probably my ability to tailor communications kind of to a different audience. So you do a lot of different presentations, tabling, and different things throughout the loan executive experience. And so you're talking to different business executives, different folks between our corporate partners who you're working on their campaigns with. So you have to tailor a message towards them, but then you're also working with nonprofits and kind of trying to get what their needs are so that you can relate those to our corporate nonprofit partners. And so it kind of tailoring communications to the different audiences, and then tabling events. We've done tabling events at anywhere from PetSmart to ASU. So you're dealing with folks in a school setting and kind of they're more probably volunteer driven versus a corporate setting where they be maybe more donation driven and different things like that. So trying to find in that quick time that you have with them, trying to find out what motivates them to give.
And of course, you came into this role with a lot of valuable experience as well, and maybe a little bit different than some of
Yeah.
the tools you need for tabling or whatever it may be. How have you been able to translate those skills into this work?
So I think initially I was able to kind of during our onboarding, you kind of go through what Valley of the Sun is, the business kind of behind it and everything. But then also presentation skills and different things like that. So I have presentation experience kind of before just instructing and leading that way. So I was able to kind of help LEs and the CRMs kind of talk through different presentation, kind of what works, what might not work, help that way. But then also kind of throughout the process of everything, once you get partnered with a community relations manager, kind of just giving them a new set of eyes, kind of the business partner aspect of it. Like, hey, this might speak well, this might speak better to this corporate partner versus something else. Because I mean, we have a wide range of corporate partners from just sales to banking to engineering firms. So not everything is going to hit the same with everyone. So kind of tailoring different messages to the different partners, I think I was able to kind of help bring, I guess, a new set of eyes to that.
And I'm sure, coming from APS, you experience a lot of different audiences. You have to
Mhm.
relate to a lot of different audiences within your role. So I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of that experience came into play here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so kind of like I said before, just tailoring messages differently. A lot with APS is probably more technical in talk and procedures and different things like that. You're following kind of more of a technical pattern versus here is probably more of like the human environment where you're kind of connecting kind of heart and minds together versus the technical aspect. So that was probably another experience that I got that I haven't been used to before, is kind of connecting the hearts and minds versus around technical information.
Kind of related to that, of course, this program is deeply people-centric and people-centered. So what has surprised you most about yourself during this time?
I guess might not be surprise me, but I guess how far out of my comfort zone I was willing to get or went with different things. So a lot of just different between just visiting the nonprofits. I mean, you see a lot of it, and not all of it's comfortable to see, especially like a Keys to Change or Project Connect. Like it puts you in kind of a self-reflective mindset whenever you're there, just on what you have. So a lot of that definitely kind of surprised me, but then also the connections that you make.
If anyone is, listening and they're curious about becoming a loan executive themselves, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so kind of everyone asked. So I didn't come in with much expectations in this. There was like everyone's like, "Oh, did you get what you want?" Like I didn't come in with expectations other than kind of trying to learn about the community, about Valley of the Sun United Way, and about myself. But coming in and learning more, I guess, of the business side of Valley of the Sun and how it impacts everyone, how Valley of the Sun United Way connects the nonprofit with our business partners. So that's one, learning the business side, I guess. But then kind of what I just spoke about, like the connections you make. The connection you make with your community by just going out there and doing, by going out and helping. There's the book in the bags or the pantry packs and all those different things that you're doing just to make a connection with your community.
Well, that is so great, Joe. I'm so glad that you have had a good experience with us. And thank you so much for sharing your story and a little bit more insight today. And also for the passion and commitment that you've brought to your role. I've literally witnessed it firsthand. You're doing everything from tabling and, all the things on paper, but you're also helping out with the volunteer engagement side. Thank you so much. It's been a really great pleasure.
So, and that, thank you. So yes, you've been at plenty of events that I've been at, and I'm not one that is big on the social media and everything. So you being there to broadcast what I'm doing, I appreciate as well.
As we celebrate 100 years of Valley of the Sun United Way, it's amazing leaders like Joe who step away from their regular day-to-day roles and come into our organization with so much passion and joy. They're the ones that remind us that our next century will be built on community, giving back, and inspiring others to do the same and to join us. If you want to learn more about the Loan Executive Program, or perhaps loan one of your own employees, visit our website at vsuw.org. Also, make sure to follow us on all of our social media at myvsuw. We have a lot of fun stuff in the works for our 100th year anniversary, so make sure to tell us that the podcast brought you. We'll see you next time on 100 Years, One United Valley. Thanks for joining.